prestige. It's an opportunity to influence key business outcomes.
Taking up a board seat can indeed seem to be a daunting task, especially if one is taking it for the first time. When I became CEO some 5 years ago, a young man walked into my office and asked a question I will never forget. He asked me, "What did you do to convince the white man to give you this job?"
You want to be tough in the boardroom. I know you want to fight. You want to bring in your best strategy to go to war. In boardroom, we don't war. In boardroom is an intelligent, mindful, and strategic engagement.
Today, you're not just joining a conference, you are joining our movement. Oh yes, we are not just a conference, we are a movement.
My name is Wasco.
My name is Patrick Oduma.
My name is Susan Chibanga.
I would like to invite you to join me and my colleagues to the West Africa Growth Conference, to be held virtually on the 19th and the 20th of September.
Ladies and gentlemen joining us from all over the world, you're warmly welcome to the Growth Conference. We are very excited to have you.
Aspiring to join a board is not just about prestige. It's an opportunity to influence key business outcomes.
Taking up a board seat can indeed seem to be a daunting task, especially if one is taking it for the first time. When I became CEO some 5 years ago, a young man walked into my office and asked a question I will never forget. He asked me, "What did you do to convince the white man to give you this job?"
You want to be tough in the boardroom. I know you want to fight. You want to bring in your best strategy to go to war. In boardroom, we don't war. In boardroom is an intelligent, mindful, and strategic engagement.
Today, you're not just joining a conference, you are joining our movement. Oh yes, we are not just a conference, we are a movement.
My name is Wasco.
My name is Patrick Oduma.
My name is Susan Chibanga.
I would like to invite you to join me and my colleagues to the West Africa Growth Conference, to be held virtually on the 19th and the 20th of September.
Hello, welcome everyone from all over the world. This is the Growth Conference, West Africa. You are welcome. Thank you so much, our dear speakers. Thank you for all our guests who are here. Thank you for the moderators, our convener, the host. We are excited to be having this conference in West Africa. Thank you once again. All right, I would like us to go to the YouTube website and click on the subscribe button. I want to encourage all of you to click on the subscribe button, right? There's the growth space. That's the name of the YouTube channel, is the growth space. All right, let's see. Who do we have in the chat room? All right. For those of us joining from different parts of the world, from different countries, please introduce yourselves and your location, what nation you are calling in from. Let us know. Let's know who you are so we can warmly welcome you and appreciate you for joining us in the Growth Conference. Like we have said before, it's not just a conference, it's a movement. Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody. Okay, so please look in the comment section in the chat room. The links for the YouTube page, it's in the comment section. So please click on it, join in, invite your friends. They can watch live on the YouTube channel and also watch our other broadcasts as well. So click on the YouTube channel, click on subscribe and join the movement. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Oh, I can see we have Sandra from Nigeria. Awesome, welcome, 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 welcome. We're still expecting a few more people to come in. Thank you, thank you. And I'm sure we have a few people on YouTube watching as well. So well done. You're going to have an amazing learning experience, a transformative, transformational learning experience. Your few hours that you'll be here will be worth your while. I'll take a quote from John Maxwell, and he mentioned that growth and development are the highest form of leadership. So for the mere fact that you are here, you've taken out time to be here with us, means that you are a leader. You are ready to grow, ready to keep improving, and to be transformational in your different fields. So thank you. Oh, I can see Ellen from Zambia. Welcome, welcome. We're excited to have you here. Welcome. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Keep it coming, keep it coming. This is the West African Growth Conference. We are having an exciting time. I can't wait to hear the speakers speak to us from their wealth of experience. We have powerful speakers lined up for you, and it's going to be an exciting time. Oh, we have Alberta. Hello, Alberta from Ghana. Beautiful. Keep it coming, keep it coming. Let's know where we are joining in from. We still have more people joining in. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We're going to have a great learning experience right here. Very impactful. You will not regret your time here. It's going to be powerful and it's going to be beautiful. Well done. Well done, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We still have a few people joining in. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well done. Well done. So please remember, click on the link in the chat room for the YouTube page, YouTube Rate the Growth Conference or the Growth Space, and join the movement, join the platform. Okay? Thank you very much. Welcome. I can see a few more people joining in. Beautiful. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, we have more of our speakers coming in. Welcome, Potabi. Welcome. Welcome. We are excited to have you in our midst. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So we are excited. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. We are very appreciative. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome. I can see Roberta Donko as well. Welcome. That's good to be one of our special guest speakers. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to have you guys speak with us this evening. Thank you very much. Okay. For those of us joining me from different countries, please just indicate where you're coming in from. You can drop a message on the chat room. Let us know where you're joining from so we can specially and warmly welcome you to the Growth Conference West Africa. Let us know where you're joining in from so we can welcome you. From Cameroon, beautiful Lucy Etta from Cameroon, yay, welcome. Wow, Uganda, we have Judith from Uganda. Welcome, Judith. We are excited to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for taking our time to be here. Welcome, welcome. Do we have any previous speakers who have joined in? Let us acknowledge you. Let us acknowledge you. We have some of our previous speakers. It's been really great to see you. You have to put your camera on so we can see your beautiful face, acknowledge you, and appreciate you. Okay. Oh, we have Julieta Sama, Dr. Julieta Sama joining in from Cameroon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome, welcome, Dr. Juliet. We are pleased to have you here. Thank you very much. Welcome. Okay. Well done. We just want to know if there are a few more people coming in before we get running. We hit the ground running. Welcome. Beautiful. Beautiful. Please click on the subscribe button. Join us on our YouTube page. Smash that subscribe button and be part of the movement, the growth space, right? Click on the link that's been shared in the comment section. Please feel free to drop a link, to click on the link, please. And before we begin, I want you to have your expectations high. In fact, I would like you to even write down your expectation. That by the time you are done with this conference, what do you want to achieve? What would you want to have gained after attending this conference? Write it down, think about it, write it down, share your expectations, and let's see. I know we trust that we will exceed your expectations. So
That's right.
keep it coming. Keep it coming. Well done. We'll be expecting our hosts to come in shortly. Oh, hello, Susan Chibanga. It's good to have you here. Ah, Tarragon Edge. No, it's great to have you. Welcome. Our previous speakers, we appreciate you. We acknowledge you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tutu. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. I can see a comment about the expectations. We have a comment here. Oh, please drop your comments. We have one person commenting. Looking to overcome self-sabotage. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Hey. Oh, we also have in our midst our special guest. I would like to acknowledge a trailblazer, a special guest of ours, Chris Oziofu Ekwofe Ero. I hope I got the pronunciation of your name well. You're welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening at the Growth Conference. Oh, we have our convener here as well. The delectable, the quintessential, Noella Ugu, the growth experts, the coach extraordinaire. We appreciate you. Thank you for being a visionary leader. We appreciate you. Thank you for putting this together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tutu. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Okay, Chris, please can you turn on your video so we can see your lovely face? Okay. Chris, can we see your video on? Thank you very much. All right, let's delve straight into it. We have our hosts in the building. Beautiful. A very special person with a trailblazing, accomplished professional who has hosted this program from day one. We would like her to continue hosting it as well. And today, as we welcome her to the podium, our special Dr. Genevieve to the podium to take this conference forward. Please put your hands together, virtual hands together, and applaud for our...
Thank you so much. I'm happy we are back again for day 2. And I would like to first of all say thank you all for, the great work you did, especially to those of you who were with us yesterday. It was such a blessing to have all of you with us, and our speakers were excellent. I want you to type one thing that you took away yesterday quickly in the chat box. Just one thing you took away from our speakers yesterday. But if you are joining us today and you weren't with us yesterday, my name is Genevieve from the Gateway to Africa, Ghana, Accra, and I'm happy to have all of you at this Growth Conference, West Africa. Yesterday, I asked a few questions, and I'm going to ask again. Why do we even want to worry ourselves at all with getting ready for board roles? Why should women bother themselves when it comes to board roles? Why should we even worry ourselves with higher leadership roles? I think it's because diversity makes it beautiful. It is because when there are diverse thoughts, it makes the world beautiful. It makes productivity increase. And from what I read in one of the Forbes reports, it says that when you have a lot of women at the top, when you have a lot of women, talented women, let me put it that way, talented women, intelligent women like yourself at the top, it makes the collaboration, it makes the decision-making, it makes everything beautiful, and productivity is all we want. And once we get that, establishments, corporations, businesses, everything becomes better. So I am happy you are here. You've taken the decision to join the discussion. And today it's going to be even more exciting. We are going to talk about some stereotypes. Why should our men support us even the more? Why should they? Oh, so I was talking in the dark. Thank you for the prompt. So all I said you didn't hear. Okay.
I heard everything.
Thank you so much for the prompt.
I heard everything.
I'm so happy. You heard everything. But somebody
Absolutely.
said, okay, somebody said I was muted, so I was confused at what stage I was muted. But anyway, if you didn't, okay, great. So all I want to see today is that it should be more engaging. Ask more questions. You can type in the chat box. If there is an opportunity to also ask questions, you can just raise up your hand and ask all your questions. And the learning does not end here. We are going to continue this chat because we can't use 2 hours to exhaust it. But we're going to continue this conversation on social media, on all our handles, the Growth Conference. And I'm sure before the day ends today, we will show you how to engage. Those of you on the platforms, we will continue to engage you. And the last thing I'll say before our moderator comes to the woman to be at the top You have all it takes to get to board roles. You have all it takes to get to C-suite, but you also need to prepare yourself. Just you need. There are some developmental goals you need to set for yourself. And these things have been done well. Definitely when the opportunity knocks at your door, you're already prepared. So taking up these roles becomes easier. So I entreat you all that if for nothing at all, after today's discussion, remember that you need to start gaining some skills, some new skills, or some new set skills that would get you ready for the boardroom. And I know that we're going to have a discussion on mentorship and networking. We are going to also have a discussion on how to build. So I welcome all of you once again, and thank you for those who have typed. And I know that it's going to be an exciting day today. Thank you. Now I will quickly introduce my able moderator, who is going to take us today for a wonderful session. So we have Tutu, as she really wants to be called. The full name is Sotimodeke Dajuma. Forgive me, Tutu, if I didn't pronounce your name well. Tutu is an associate CIPD UK member, popularly known as Tutu. She's a trained, chartered HR professional and a John Maxwell certified leadership coach. Tutu is also an acclaimed leadership is a leadership expert, HR consultant, and a learning enthusiast with an extensive experience in shaping, coaching, and conducting various trainings and workshops for people of all ages and backgrounds. She's the founder of the Leadership and Employability Development Academy and has been instrumental to the growth of multiple successful organizations and has coached dozens of others as she has helped individuals and organizations to imbibe a lifestyle of growth to achieve multiple value and experiential results. With a round of applause virtually, may we all welcome our moderator for today, Tutu. Tutu, I wish you the very best, and I know we are going to have an exciting session with all our speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm honored. Thank you so much, Dr. Genevieve. I am really honored. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Tutu.
Okay, so we're all welcome once again. Moving on, we'll go straight into the topics for today, or the conference itself. And I will be introducing our first speaker, Dr. Fotabi Elmini, all the way from Cameroon. She's the founder and board chair of Fotabi University of Cameroon. So let us tell you a little bit about Dr. Fotabi. Dr. Fotabi is a renowned social entrepreneur, philanthropist, and advocate for technical and vocational education and training, TVET, STEM, and women leadership. As the founder of Fotabi University of Cameroon, she emphasizes education for societal impact. She also founded Association for the Promotion of Decent Work for Women and Girls, dedicated to empowering women and girls. Her Leadership Academy focuses on career readiness through technical skills, while her annual Girls in STEM scholarship program supports women in STEM. A seasoned corporate trainer and speaker at over 500 conferences globally, Dr. Fotabi has received numerous awards, including the 2021 Entrepreneurship Champions Award and the 2022 Courage Award for promoting women in leadership. Dr. Fotabi firmly believes that when women and youth are equipped with the right tools, they can make significant contributions to the global peace, stability, and economic development. Please join me welcome with a rousing ovation, a virtual rousing ovation, Dr. Putabi Elmini. Thank you so much. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, our beautiful host. Thank you all for being here. I'm so happy to be here, and I want to thank you very much for that very kind introduction, Tutu. Thank you so much. I want to thank Ugo for putting this together. I'm so proud of her for this. And for our host, Dr. Genevieve, you're doing an amazing job. Thank you, and inspiration. So all the women who are here this evening, those of you who were here yesterday, thank you for being here. This is a testament to the fact that you really want to prepare yourselves for bigger things, and this is what women have to do. Dr. Genevieve was asking, why do we need to prepare ourselves? I think that is because we have what it takes, and we need to tell ourselves that we have what it takes to get to wherever we want to get to. So thank you all for having me. I'll use the next 20 minutes or so to discuss preparing for C-suite through networking and mentorship. I'm going to share my story because I believe that all the lessons I have learned through my story. So I want to share my story with you. And my hope is that you're not only going to learn lessons, you're going to be inspired to aspire for bigger things. So I started my journey as a lecturer in my 20s. And every time I walked into class, I was reminded of the fact that there was something that our education needs. I thought that our education needed to be more holistic. And every time I walked into the lecture hall, I thought that it wasn't really so. So I wanted to do something. And that's how in 2015, FOTABE University of Cameroon was born. It was an exciting journey for me as a young person, then in my 30s. I thought I had achieved a great deal because I founded the FOTABE University of Cameroon, and we started with just 2 faculties. I thought, well, that was it. But before I knew it, it was necessary for me to expand. Expansion did not only mean increasing the number of faculties we had, but also embracing help, opening up to more people, working with more people. And the night I thought that I was supposed to expand FOTABE University of Cameroon was both a difficult night, but a very important one for me, because I reflected at length at what I needed to do to be able to face this expansion and expand my vision for the university. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I thought that I needed to do more than I was doing already. But that night was very challenging. It was very decisive, because first, that realization hit me that I had to do more. But secondly, I felt challenged. As someone just typed a while ago in the chat that their expectation is to overcome self-sabotage. I think that on that night, I was sabotaging myself. I was afraid. I thought I didn't have what it takes to expand to that level. I was both afraid, and at the same time, I doubted my capabilities a whole lot. But on that night, I realized that I needed to do something, and I could not do it alone. That's one lesson that somebody types in the chat today, that we need each other. I decided that I was going to do what I had to do, but I needed help. I needed support. What was I going to do? Until then, mentorship for me was just an idea. You know, it was kind of a mechanical thing that I did. But that night, I realized that I needed 2 things. I needed a mentor, and I needed also to be able to network effectively. Why did I need this? Why did I need to do all of this? I needed this because to expand, especially in our university sphere, you need to set up a board of trustees. here I was, a young girl in my late 30s by then, getting to early 40s, thinking that I need to set up a board of trustees in the university sector. That's very challenging because that meant that I needed to bring in distinguished people from all the spheres of our society. In academia, you have to think of the most experienced professors. In business, you have to think of very experienced and accomplished business people, from the government as well, from civil society. And I had to put all of that together. I was afraid. I doubted my capabilities, but I needed to do that. I needed to set up this board of trustees. By the way, just to put you in context, so you understand who we have on our board of trustees. So we have a sitting senator, we have a sitting mayor, we have an international human rights lawyer, we have the former president of JCI, global president of JCI. We have very distinguished entrepreneurs. We have international journalists, and we have, of course, university professors and representatives from the state. Now you see why I was so afraid. I thought I didn't have what it takes to set up that board and to steer that board. So I was supposed to prepare myself for this C-suite. It was a challenging night. But like I said, I realized that I needed help. And that help could come from mentorship. Because leadership in C-suite requires not just expertise, but it demands strategic vision. It demands influence, and it demands the ability to navigate complex organizational dynamics. I thought I needed all of that, and I was so afraid. The next morning, what I did was I reached out to someone I used to look up to, who was not my mentor, but someone I used to look up to. And I said, listen, I have to grow for Taba University of Cameroon, but I'm afraid. I think I don't have what it takes to do that. Because growing for Taba University of Cameroon means setting up a board of trustees. And look at me, I'm just a woman. I use those words. I'm just a woman. And where do I start from? And he told me something. He said, you are not just a woman. You are a human being, and you deserve to get to where you want to get, because you have everything it takes to get there. That was very comforting. Then I asked him the question, do you want to mentor me through this? And he said, oh no, I'm not going to mentor you through this, but I'm glad you're going to mentor me through your journey. Why am I saying all of this? That statement brought me to the realization that networking is not just about making connections. It is a two-way experience where both mentor and mentee are co-creators of the journey towards mutual knowledge, sharing, emotional growth, leadership development, and much more. That was the first lesson I learned from my mentor, that I wasn't going to mentor him, we're going to mentor each other. But then I saw the power of mentorship. Mentorship is very, very powerful to help us to navigate these challenges that I just mentioned. It helps us to navigate the fear that we have to explore what we have to explore. So I saw the need for mentorship, for networking, and for mentorship as well. And when it comes to mentorship, I want to tell you that while networking builds broad relationships, mentorship provides the deep, focused guidance which is necessary for personal and professional growth. So you see the link between the two. I needed to network with someone, but I also needed mentorship. So networking will bring me together with these people. But what is it that will provide the deep, focused guidance that was necessary for me to grow to this level was the mentorship that I got from this person. So I saw the need for both of them. And if you're thinking of mentorship and you're asking yourself, is it really necessary at this time? Yesterday, the speakers did an amazing job. They did an amazing job laying the foundations for this discussion. And they told us everything we need to know about mentorship. I just want to add that if you're aspiring to get to sitting on that board like I was aspiring at that time. Remember that your thinking has to become strategic. You're no longer someone who just executes. You are the person who thinks for the entire organization. So you're supposed to develop strategic thinking. You're supposed to develop strategic communication skills, strategic decision. And one very important thing, learn to profile people. And yesterday, Ras did an amazing job talking about how to use emotional intelligence to profile people you meet for the first time. And mentorship also helped me to develop confidence and this ability to take calculated risks like we discussed yesterday. So it's very important for us to see the importance here of mentorship and at the same time to networking. Just imagine I did not know this person I walked up to. I would not know anything about networking. But you may be asking yourself right now, how do I leverage mentorship and networking as I aspire for C-suite? I have what I call, which is my personal mantra, and I call the 5 C's of leveraging mentorship and networking for C-suite. 5 C's. So I have put this together. I reflect on this, and this is what actually helped me to leverage networking and mentorship to be able to do the things that we're doing today. The first C is connect actively. By my nature, I wasn't the person to go out there and just easily connect with people. But I learned that I needed to connect actively. And I remember my mentor telling me, you cannot set up a good board if you do not go out there and actively connect with people. There is a difference between just connecting with people and actively connecting with people. Many of us here are connected right now because we find ourselves in this platform. But you start actively connecting when you reach out to people and you tell them, I like what you're doing. I love the presentation you did. This is what you're doing that I admire. This is what I aspire to do. And this is where I think I need your support. Going out there to actively connect with people is going to be a game changer for you, because it was for me. And my mentor helped me to see the need to connect actively with people. The second C that I use every day as a mantra is to cultivate diversity. Cultivate diversity. This is very important for us as women. You know, we have so many stereotypes. Like myself, I was afraid. I doubted my capabilities. So we will tend sometimes to limit ourselves to working with women. Sometimes limiting ourselves to work with younger people we think cannot challenge us. But the secret of leveraging mentorship and networking for C-suite is to cultivate diversity. And it begins from the mind. To think that I can learn from many different perspectives, and this is going to build me up to get to this place I want to get to. So cultivate diversity. As women, let us not squeeze ourselves into a certain mold. Let us not squeeze ourselves to think that, oh, we need to work exclusively with women to be able to grow. Let us not fear that people will challenge us. People from other cultures will not say things like us. It's actually a blessing, because then you develop this diverse perspective that helps you in strategic thinking, that helps you in strategic networking, that helps you in strategic communication, and every other thing you have to do when you sit on that seat in the boardroom. My third C, I'm very aware of time, so pardon me if I'm rushing the C's. The third C is you champion initiative. Champion initiative. This is one other thing that I think that my sisters, women, need to really, embrace. We have to take the initiative, go out, and do not wait until someone comes to us, but you champion the initiative. And even when you already have a mentor, champion the initiative. Ask questions. Ask the right questions. Challenge yourself. Go out there and put yourself out there. I like to say that if we do not take the initiative, very little will come to us, because the world is like this. Everybody is looking for something. And if we are not actively looking for that thing, we'll hardly have it. So my third C is champion initiative. The fourth C is construct influence. You cannot aspire to C-suite like if you do not have influence. One of the speakers said something very beautiful yesterday, that we need to build a network of people who would speak for us when we're not in the room. That was very beautiful. And this is what influence does. When we construct influence, then people will speak on our behalf. And how do we construct this influence? 3 things I always tell my mentees: show up, speak up, and act up. Show up. I am happy that you're all in this room. You show up. You're here. So every time you hear that there's an opportunity for you to learn, show up. Let people see you. This is how you build influence. Speak up. Let people understand your vision. Let people understand your values. This is how you attract people who can buy into that. And this is how you create influence. Act up. Is there something that needs to be done? Say, I'll do it. Even if you're not very skilled, take the challenge. Do it. This is how you construct influence. So do not forget, show up, speak up, and act up. And the 5th C, which is going to help us to close this discussion, is capitalize on relationships. I'm sure we are all Africans and we know this. My dad used to say that a wealthy person is not the person who has a lot of money at the bank, in their bank account, but a wealthy person is the person who has a lot of people. In effect, he was saying we have to learn to capitalize on relationships. We cannot leverage on mentorship and networking if we do not capitalize on the relationships we have. I have learned this, and I believe that every other person can learn it. You know, I speak all over the place. I meet a lot of people, but it has taken me quite some effort to be able to capitalize on relationships, to actively go there, keep those relationships alive. It has been a kind of a lot of work for me, but it is paying off. So I hope that after this, if you have those relationships that you have neglected, please capitalize on them. That's the networking that you need to grow to this C-suite level. Do not forget what my mentor told me, that I cannot aspire to do the things I want to do if I do not have a very strong network. I saw that happen. You have seen the people who are on our board. It means that I have been able to stretch. I have a huge network. I am leveraging on that. And what has helped me to overcome that fear? What has helped us to be able to perform to the level where we are today? We have 7 faculties from the 2 we had. We have a very functional board, a very powerful board that supports us really very actively, is because I have been able to use the 5 C's: connect actively, cultivate diversity, champion initiative, construct influence, and capitalize on relationships. I am very sure that if you put all of this together, if you use this as your mantra every day, you're going to see how very well networking and mentorship will come through for you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow.
I'll take questions now. And thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Futabi. We're already giving a round of applause because you did excellently well. You were spot on. Thank you so much. Mentorship, networking, it's key to taking you into the C-suite level in the body. For whatever area you find yourself, this is key to growth in your career and in life generally. Thank you so much. I was taking notes, and it really stuck out to me as you mentioned it. I wrote it down. The 5 C's of leveraging mentorship and networking: connect actively, cultivate diversity, champion initiative. I like to ask the right questions. You know, just ask. It's better to ask dumb questions that will make dumb mistakes, but ask, ask questions, take initiative. Constructive influence, capitalize on relationship. Awesome. Show up, speak up, act up. Thank you so much. We've gathered a lot from this particular topic. We are so grateful. Thank you. Just before you go, I would like to ask a few questions, and I can see that there are some comments and questions even in the chat room. So please don't go away. Even after I've asked the questions, I would like you to go into the chat room afterwards to see some of the questions in there, and as much as possible to answer them before we go to the next speaker, or while we're with the next speaker. But let me just ask a few questions very quickly that we want to know. So the first question is, do you feel the dynamics between male mentors and female mentees? Do you feel the dynamics between male mentors and female mentees differ from those between male mentors and male mentees? Did you get the question?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Thank you. And yes, the answer is yes, because I just need to say that my mentor is male. So I have a male mentor. And yes, I can say that the dynamics can differ, even though it's important to recognize that every mentor-mentee relationship is unique. We have to always remember that. And all these relationships should be treated as unique relationships. It is true that in male mentor, female mentee relationships, there might be an added layer of sensitivity around issues like unconscious bias, gender expectations, and even power dynamics. But these relationships sometimes come under extra scrutiny, you know, both internally and even externally. I experienced that, and this can lead to greater caution and hesitation from both parties. So it is very important that in this kind of a relationship, people get to talk frankly. They understand the differences. They help each other to understand their different expectations, so that there's going to be openness, and so that personal challenges can be faced effectively. But yes, the dynamics can differ.
Okay, thank you. The second question, what are some, as a C-suite executive, how do you approach mentoring others, and what strategies do you use to ensure you are providing meaningful guidance while also fostering independence in your mentees?
Yeah, thank you very much. As an executive at this level, I approach mentoring, like I mentioned during my presentation, with the belief that for mentorship to be effective, we have to balance providing guidance and cultivating self-reliance. This is what I tell my mentees. I will provide the guidance, but I need my mentees to also be self-reliant. So this is how I approach it. And I strive to create an environment where my mentees feel both supported and challenged at the same time. And some of the things I typically do, I personalize mentorship. So it's not one size fits all. I listen to challenges, I see potential, I understand people's emotional intelligence, I understand their aspirations, then I tailor my mentorship to that. I also encourage ownership, because I aim to instill this sense of ownership in their own development. So I do not want it to seem like it is me who is directing this mentorship. No, I am just guiding and supporting them to be able to develop themselves, because I believe that all of us have what it takes within us. And sometimes we just need someone to bring that out. And so this is what I do. And I ask questions and I provide very honest and positive feedback to help my mentees to be able to create the opportunities for themselves to get to this level of development.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. I just will take one question from the chat room. There are so many, but I'll just take a very Just one, a quick one. Then hopefully you can answer a few more from the chat room afterwards, please. So one of them from the chat room reads, how can you identify who you want to be? Sorry, how can you identify who you want to be your mentor? Meaning,
okay. Well, I think I understand. How do you identify someone with the potential to mentor you?
That's what the person is trying to say.
I think that you look at where you're going and you look at where people are at. I was going to the helm of the board of trustees, and I needed support both academically, socially, and I needed someone with the experience to pilot a board. So I needed that. And in my network, I could identify someone with this experience. And here is the thing about leveraging on relationships. I said it before, capitalize on relationships. This mentor of mine was a member of the board of trustees of one of the universities where I started my career as a lecturer. And I kept that relationship from then. I saw the contributions. I listened to the speeches. I saw him dealing with people. Then I got to know that he is a leadership coach, someone who coaches and mentors the most senior executives of the largest companies we have in this country. And I said, this person has the experience to be able to guide me through this journey. But that's not all. You have to know people's values as well. And I got to know this person. I talked to other people. I saw the way he dealt with other people, with women, with young people. And I looked at my own values and I said, yeah, we have something in common here. Because mentorship goes way beyond just someone with experience, with knowledge. Remember, we're women. And the first question that was asked was the differences in the dynamics of male mentor, female mentee. So these dynamics are there. You need to look for someone who has the values to respect boundaries, who has the values to help you grow without improper thoughts, improper desires, someone who would be happy to lift you as the rise. These are the things that you want to look at. So look at your values and seek out for someone who has those values. Today, it's quite easy. We can follow people on social media. We see what they talk about. We see their work. We spend time talking with them. So it's not a hasty decision. It's not something that I just see someone the first time and I say, this person is going to be a mentor. It takes time. I get actively involved. Remember the things I said, the 5 C's? I become very actively involved in building a relationship. Then I learned from them. I remember what I said about one of the skills I picked up from mentorship, profiling people, using emotional intelligence, listening to what they say, listening to look at how they say it, look at their body language when you meet them. All of those things will help you to see that this person could be a good mentor for me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Kelmini. Thank you so much. We've learned a lot. That was transformational. Thank you so much. So please answer some more questions for us in the chat room while we go to the next speaker. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.
All right, so moving on, we'll be having our next speaker to take us forward with our conference for today. A very special person. He's an accomplished financial management guru, and he's no other than Ahmed Aziz, all the way from Egypt, joining us. See, for us to be complete, we need the men on our side to help push us forward, to support us, because we can't do it without the men. So we have a very special man in our midst today, all the way from Egypt, as I said. So please welcome Mr. Or should I say Dr. Ahmed Aziz from Egypt. Ahmed is a seasoned management professional with 25 years of experience in strategy, financial, and change management. As CFO of GROHE Egypt, for 15 years and Deputy CFO, that's Chief Financial Officer, at Saudi Bin Laden for 10 years. He excelled in P&L management, operational efficiency, and satisfaction, known for fostering organizational culture, building teams, and promoting diversity and inclusion. Ahmed is an expert in financial planning, restructuring, and profit maximization. After leaving Grow, he co-founded Water Value, where he currently serves as CEO, leading the import and export of sanitary products and representing 6 exclusive European A-class brands in Egypt. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcome with a rousing virtual ovation, our speaker, Ahmed Aziz. Thank you so much. Excited to have you with us.
Very comprehensive introduction. I would like to thank you for that. As well, special thanks to Noila to allow me to join this very fruitful discussion, and sure for Sandra for doing an outstanding job to make it happen, and for my partner and my friend Genevieve Duncan for allowing me to allow this kind of discussion, which really is fruitful our business environment and our society. Sure, I'm just to briefing about I'm today trying to share with you how we can demolishing all those social barriers facing women since decades, not allowing her to get to the suitable place she deserves. And in my opinion, from old ancient history, all religious, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam gave the woman the respect she deserves. But unfortunately, after that, due to some stupid leadership, put the woman on those frame to whom she should marry, to if she's allowed to learn or not, if she allowed to go to the college, if she allowed to inherit, to do her own business, and those all stupid barriers which limitate the woman to go beyond what she's planning to do or what she deserves to have. But thanks God that what we are now living in my opinion, in the best era of giving the woman all freedom they need to go for all scales of management without giving any kind of concern about this old historical social barriers, given and locked, boxed all active women not to doing her positive role. And sure, I would like to salute those brave women who refuse to be boxed from the beginning. As you know, there is always a strong behind the scenes, strong woman who decided to fight for their rights. I would like to talk, for example, for Egypt environment. I'm happy to share with you that we have many strong women running very big firm and corporations in Egypt. And I can name at least 50 names from Egyptian strong women who are running billions of business in Egypt. And I'm proud as well as Arab African that, you know, in Egypt, we do always concern about our Africa. We belong to our Africa. And that's why I'm happy that my friend Jenny always invites me to any African discussion, which I'm proud to. And I really feel frustrated sometimes when I hear this stupid sentence saying, what did you do for allowing the white man to give? You don't need to convince any stupid white man to give you your rights. You are strong enough. Even the sky cannot make limits for you. We don't give a shit about the white man. Forgive my language, but this is really make me angry. You don't need any permission to go beyond the sky. You can do outstanding job whenever you are. And sure, as a husband and as a dad, I feel that our not task, our job in this life to support our wives, to get always behind their back, pushing and encouraging them beyond whatever it takes to make it happen. And really, I do not believe that some husbands are not allowed to.
Hello?
Oh, I think his network went off.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Tutu, you can, just pick it up.
We give him about a minute to. Okay, he's back. Thank you.
I'm sorry, my internet, something happened. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Back to our white man allowing us to go beyond. Anyway, so I feel that one of the man's job to protect his family and to support his lovely wife, to go beyond whatever she's planning to go for. And any husband is not giving the suitable encourage, the suitable support, advice, guidance sometimes to his wife, he should rethink about his humanity and his 100% manhood. That's why all those strong women we can look around, you can feel that their families, husbands, spouses are always behind. It's not always husband. Sometimes it's a dad. Sometimes it's a brother. Sometimes it's a son, for example. I know lots of my friends, her husband died and her backbones are their son. So this is one of our role in this life. And what make me looking that we have a very promising environment for women empowerment, that whenever I look, as I'm representing at least 9, now we are 10 factory, we are representing 10 European factory exclusively in sanitary in Egypt. And when I look right and left, I can see very successful, outstanding women there. I can tell you outstanding stories about Astrid Rinke, who is leading in Grohe, Germany factory, leading the supply chain. I can tell you a marvelous story about Hannah van Zweden. She's leading the sales director for all Middle East area from her office in Poland. I can tell you lots of marvelous stories about my partner, Genevieve Duncan, who's doing an outstanding job in Ghanaian society as a wife, mom, businesswoman, mentorship. She's doing great job, in my opinion. I can tell you about Khadija Ben Hamma in Morocco, leading outstanding factory for cosmetics and beautiful oil skin from the Moroccan origin soil and oil land. We have surrounded by very talented, gifted women who deserve to be on top of any successful corporation. And I feel strange when sometimes asking me, what do you think about encouraging women? They took their places already, my friend. Wake up. They are there already. You don't need any kind of support. We need support sometimes. At least, last but not least, I would like again to thank you for inviting me for this outstanding discussion. Again, thank you, Noila, to make it happen. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Genevieve. Thank you, Toto, for this. I cannot thank you enough about your presenting me on this very nice word. And I'm not the guy who's having this outstanding presentation. Like I would like to thank all speakers. Yesterday, I've been enjoying this discussion, and today as well. But I'm not that clever in making my word in presentation. I use my presentation in my financials figures only. but when it comes to open discussion like that, I prefer to talk from what in my heart. Thank you again. I would be always pleasure, Noila, to join all your fruitful sessions, and I'd be there to support any one of you. And at last, I would like to share with you some of our new initiative in Egyptian market. In my company, we open doors for Egyptian ladies who needs to learn about business, how to do her own business, FOC, free of charge. We are training them online, how to establish a company, how to make a presentation, how to explain her business plan, how to communicate with European, Chinese, American factories. We are doing this as our society role. I feel that we are responsible for do something for the society, especially supporting our amazing women. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Ahmed. We really appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your insights about supporting women. And it's been quite insightful. But I have a few questions I would like to ask, still regarding the topic, demolition stereotypes, social, cultural, and so forth, getting spouses to support their wives' growth in the corporate world. In supporting their wives, not just wives, sisters, women,
Exactly.
in their lives. So the women in the men's life, getting the men to support spouses, brothers, fathers to support, like you just mentioned, that most times it may not just be the husband. There's a father, there's a brother, there's a son. It's beautiful because we can't make it all by ourselves. No man is an island. There's a popular saying that if you want to go fast in life, go alone. But if you want to go far, go as a team, meaning support. So thank you so much for talking about that. So I just want to ask a few questions. There's a myth that for a woman to be in the boardroom, she must be tough, very opinionated, and match her male counterparts, boots to boots. Do you think it's one of the main stereotypes keeping a lot more women out of the boardroom or key leadership roles? What do you think?
In my opinion, I have myself in my crew, one of outstanding women I have ever met. She's doing great in our boardroom. So it doesn't make sense to make them away for taking decisions. They are smart. They can do outstanding job and add a real added value to the business. But sure, Toto, you should give her the line. You should give her the channel to feel free. Not to put pressure over her, not to limitate her aims and targets. It's always coming from the community inside this company, inside this corporation, in order to give them the freedom they need, the guidance they need, and to leave them free, not to put them as prisoners at the company. And believe me, if you did that and you being supportive to your team, men and women inside the corporation, I do believe that you would see outstanding job coming out there. And in my opinion, sometimes in my company, two of the factories we are representing, came from one of our ladies' initiative. She suggested to go, for example, she gave me an idea to go out of the books. She said, I'll give you one of our secrets. She said, Ahmed, this is the service era. We don't need to import a product and sell product in Egyptian market. Why don't we sell service? To leave somebody else to sell the product, and once those products need fixing, need maintenance, they will call us on our hotline. And guess what? Now we are establishing our Men in Blue And don't misunderstand me when I said men in blue. Men in blue because we have plumbers, men. We cannot send women to the plumbing, not because they are not tough. They are totally tough. But we respect our women. We do not need them to go to homes and fixing somebody a bathtub inside the bathroom. So now we are establishing our maintenance company. From where it comes, this idea? From smart lady working in our team. And she's, by the way, a member in the shareholders' big table in the company.
Beautiful. Wow, well done. Thank you. I have a question. In what practical ways can men, especially husbands, partners, help women take up leadership roles and board roles, regardless of they being wives and mothers, so that family life doesn't limit them from progressing in their career as women?
And in my opinion, sometimes in some families, it's difficult from a husband to see that his wife is concentrating on her dreams and her career path. But this is very limited percentage we are talking about. In the majority, because we cannot say that all husbands are helping wives and we are living a very happy life and you are happy and I'm happy and we are a big happy family. This is not life. You know, you have this side and you have this other side as well. But in my opinion, the majority of husbands are supporting their women to go beyond what they are planning to, by guidance, helping sometimes in family works at home, just to give her time. Sometimes I know one of my friends, who's working with me since 25 years. His wife is a business lady, and he said sometimes I take care of the children while she's doing her Zoom conference. So absolutely, spouse can be the backbones for the woman in order to push her to the front line and to help, and not to feel sometimes jealous. On the contrary, her success is going to be your success. This is how normal people think, in my opinion. Yeah.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. We are really grateful. We appreciate your time with us and your insights. It's been very good. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Please, let's put our hands together. A virtual applaud for Ahmed Aziz. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for
my pleasure.
Us tonight. Thank you. Okay. We'll be moving straight on to our next speaker. I know there are some comments even in the chat room. Thank you for your comments. And for those who may still have questions that you would like to ask Mr. Aziz, please drop it in the comment section and still ask your questions. And Aziz will actually, Ahmed will actually answer those questions. Any more questions you have will be attended to in the comment section. Thank you. Thank you. It's been so refreshing. I've seen all the comments coming in. It's been a refreshing time. Your words, sir, your words are so refreshing to hear. So thank you. There's a lot of appreciation going on in the comment section as well. Thank you, Aziz, Mr. Aziz. Okay, so moving on to our next speaker. We have a special guest coming up. And I'm sure everybody has been waiting to hear her speak. Somebody in the comment section said, when is the stress expert coming up to speak? Don't worry, she's here. I'll be doing a quick introduction of our next speaker, the resilient Chris Oziofo Ekwefe Ero. I hope I got the name properly. She's a stress expert, workplace wellness consultant, founder, the Wellness Boss Company. Awesome. So let us tell you a little bit about Chris. Chris is the founder and lead facilitator at the Wellness Boss Company Limited, a workplace wellness consultancy and coaching practice that offers workplace wellness diagnosis, employee well-being programs design and implementation, and also the facilitation of relevant capacity building, stress, wellness workshops for groups, events, and organizations. In 2015, after surviving a 2-year bout with amnesia, she was led to studying more about what happened to her, and in the process discover stress mastery and became a child and family wellness advocate. Chris's work, however, is based primarily on the power of the mind and the immense benefits in stress. She is also a published author. Her book, Rhythms of Resilience, Conquering Amnesia, Embracing Chaos and Mastering Stress, which comes highly recommended by Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president of Nigeria, who wrote the foreword, was launched recently. The book promises to help the reader learn how to use their life's challenges to thrive. She also has a podcast tag, First Things First Wellness, and has hosted and independently produced several wellness programs on the radio. She features as a speaker at events and is regularly sought after resource in most popular TV and radio shows. Please join me, make welcome Chris as she takes us on the topic, her victory over amnesia. A virtual round of applause for our next speaker.
Thank you so much, Tutu. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. And it's a pleasure to be here. I see it as a great honor. When Noella approached me, I jumped at it, because it's always a great thing for me to not just share my story, but to also have people connect with it, right? Because I believe that we all have gone through challenges, we all have faced and are currently facing certain circumstances that probably we didn't prepare for. And we are oftentimes overwhelmed, right? And basically not knowing what to do or how to come out of it. So when she said she wanted me to come share my story, I was like, okay, fine. I was thinking of doing some slides, but it's my story. So let me just go straight and speak from my heart and explain to you why sharing the story is very important and how I got to be where I am today doing what I'm doing. All right. So in 2013, I went into a coma. I woke up in the hospital and my memory was gone. And when I say my memory was gone, I'm not talking about probably the past 5 years or 2 days or something. My whole memory was wiped out. I could remember nothing. I could remember nothing. So we had series of tests, series of exams, just to be sure that everything was okay with me. But there was something that they said, that the tricky thing about memory loss is nobody really knows. Nobody really knows if your memory is ever going to come back. And even if it will, nobody knows when it will come back or how it will come. So that understandably made me very, very depressed. I was extremely suicidal, right? And I trusted no one. Like, paranoia was my middle name. So I just felt everybody was against me. If you can imagine what it's like to not have any sense of who you are at all. So the life that you lived before that particular moment was literally gone. So you had to rely on strangers to tell you who you were. how you were, and so I was forced to live like that for 2 years. Now the thing is, as at the time it happened, I was married and had just had my second child, who was about 5 months old when it happened. So I had the whole dark thing, fighting with everybody, hating my life, and when I decided that I was gonna live for myself and live for the children, because I looked at the kids one day and I felt really bad because they didn't ask for this. I couldn't connect with my kids. I didn't even know who they were, but they were jumping all over me, but I had no choice, right? So when I looked at them one day, I got this feeling like, hey, you have to stop fighting, because the fighting is not making you any better. And it wasn't like I wasn't making and retaining new memories. I was making and retaining new memories. So I just, concluded that, okay, what, even if I can't remember my past, but at least I have an opportunity now, right, to build better memories, to make a better impact or something like that. So I decided to move on with my life. And for me to connect with my children, the two that I already had, I felt like having another child would make it easy for me to connect with them, because then I would understand what it means to be a mom. All right. So I went ahead, I had another child, and again, my memory didn't come back, because when I informed the doctor that, hey, I'm thinking of having another baby. So he was like, okay, this is nice, because sometimes you need some events, to trigger your memory. So they thought this was going to be something that would help. But when I had the baby, my memory didn't come back. But I was already okay with it. I was like, okay, it's fine. If this is going to be my life, then that's what it is. And in 2015, exactly 4 months after I had my baby, my memory came back, right? My memory came back, and as you'd expect, as you'd imagine, there was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of, the euphoria was tangible. But then again, there came a dip, right? There came a dip, because I started thinking about, I had no choice now. I had to go back in time, to just basically think about what happened to me. How did I get to this point? And I think this is where the story gets very interesting. How did I get to this point? And everything boiled down to me, to the choices I was making, to my lifestyle, to my mental state, right? And it all came about that, okay, your problem is stress. I was under intense stress, and I did not know how to handle it. Now, I looked around me, and I noticed that a lot of people were living the kind of life I was living, where, we have a lot of women here. I was here yesterday as well, women who are upstanding, busy executives, who have which is a great thing. I was like that as well. So before my memory loss, I was in top management. I was running 2 businesses, right? So of course, when the memory loss happened, I lost all that. So I lost a chunk of my life, 2 years gone. And I looked around and I saw that everybody was basically doing the same thing. The rat race, not slowing down, not pausing, not knowing how to really take care of ourselves. We say we take care of ourselves. We go to the spa, we go to the gym, but in essence, that's not what it means to take care of yourself. So I had to learn, and learn hard. And while I was doing that, I decided to educate people as well while I was learning, and while I was practicing what I was learning. So I was imbibing all the stress management tips, and you will not believe it. It was after the incident, it was after my memory came back, that I even knew or had an inkling of how important stress was. I paid no attention to things called high blood pressure, because I'd never had it. I just assumed, for the most part, I was extremely healthy because I had a very high metabolism, and I was extremely active. I rarely slept. I was feasting and surviving on sugary foods, on, how it is now. When you're just nasty in my lifestyle, that was how it was. So the focus for me was just work, work, work. I was one of those people that was always claiming that I work well under pressure. I was also one of those people who didn't believe in delegating. So I was always multitasking because I felt delegating or, you know, just relaxing a bit would be a sign of laziness, that people would think that I'm not up to task, you know. So I considered myself a superwoman. Now I don't consider myself a superwoman anymore. I'm going to explain why. So I started educating people. Then all the stress management tips I was imbibing, I noticed that they were not working. Why is it not working? You know, I don't know how many of you have attended stress management webinars, workshops, you know, or classes or whatever. How many of you are really into stress management? You find it all over the place on social media, on the internet. So that was where I was getting my stuff from, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to practice this. They tell me to sleep 8 hours a day. They tell me to eat more healthy food. They tell me this. But I was still experiencing the same symptoms. So I will still have flashes of light. Again, do not forget, one of the challenges, one of the reasons I slumped and had a coma was because I had developed high blood pressure. I had hypertension, right? In retrospect, I recall that all the symptoms were glaring. I consistently was having headaches. I was always fatigued. I was always exhausted, right? And then when I get up, I'll have like some dizzy spells and I'll have experiences flashes of light. But then I would attribute it to, maybe I haven't eaten enough, or maybe I need to sleep a little bit more. But instead of sleeping, I would go and have like a Coke or something, you know, to stay awake. But because I was working under pressure, I didn't know how to delegate. I didn't know how to prioritize my time. So my desk was always filled, right? When you're busy doing nothing, you're like busy. People can see you're busy. You tell yourself that you're busy. It's not like you're not even achieving anything, but it's like you're moving 2 steps forward and 1 step back. So that was how it was for me. And when I saw that these stress management tips were not working, I studied a little bit more. I dug further into finding out, why is it not working? But are these people lying, you know? And I started asking questions. I ran polls on my handles. I ran polls on my platform, on the radio show. And it turns out that a lot of people were claiming that they never saw any significant improvement when they applied the stress management techniques. They never did see. So I was like, oh, so I'm not alone. But how come these things are so popular if they are not working? There must be a reason behind them not working. So that was what prompted me to study a little bit more. As at this time, I wasn't working when it had to do, because I was still in the midst of recovery and trying to understand my situation. But then when I stumbled on the reality of what life is all about, I stumbled on this singular truth. And that truth is what has kept me and led me to this point. And it is what is helping me have the impact that I'm having with the clients that I work with and with my community. The thing is, I realized that everything that we've been told about stress is wrong. Everything. And it was so crazy. When you hear something that contradicts something that you have heard for most of your life, the main thing is when they tell you that stress is bad and stress is the cause of the problem that you're living, the cause of all the problems that you have in this world, I had to come to terms with the fact that stress mastery has a higher impact than stress management. With stress mastery, we got the truth when it came to stress. The reason a lot of us are under pressure, the reason a lot of us are dealing with lifestyle-induced health challenges right now is because of the perception we have about stress. The fact that stress is bad, the fact that stress is our enemy. Now, if you do not know what the problem is, it is difficult for you to solve it. If you can't acknowledge your problem exists, how can you solve it? You know, it doesn't make sense. So first of all, we needed to acknowledge that the problem that we've been told was the problem isn't actually the problem. The problem was not stress. The problem was us. The problem was our relationship to stress. The problem was the perception that we had about stress. And then stress mastery tells, as the name connotes, stress mastery tells you that for you to be able to live a life, a productive life that guides you towards thriving, you need, so when I got that revelation, it hit me. And I started studying it. Excuse me. I started studying it. I took courses in it. And I will not lie to you, the difference has been awesome, has been amazing. Now I do not stress myself over things that normally would stress me out. I see vast differences in the changes that are occurring around me, and even with the clients that I work with. The reason I'm a family wellness advocate, but then I realized that the people in these families that we're talking with that have the agency to make changes or that have the authority to instill certain measures basically spend less than 20 or 30% of their time at home, so they spend 70, 80% elsewhere. Where do they go? Where are they based? Mostly it's in their workplaces, right? So I decided to take this message to the workplace and see how we can build a workplace with structures that enable their people to thrive. But first of all, we had to tackle that thing called stress. We all know, sitting here right now in this conference, we all know that stress is a predominant player when it comes to the workplace. Like, you can't have a workplace without stress. But the challenge now is that a lot of us see stress as bad, right? And because we see it as bad, we treat it as such. So we do not pace ourselves, we do not pause, we do not take out time to really understand the message of stress, what it's trying to tell us, and how we can utilize it. So I had to also learn that stress exists for our benefit. Stress is something that keeps us alive, right? I tell people all the time that our bodies are highly intelligent. We are, like, I don't know what AI is planning on doing, but if we could harness just a quarter of what we are able to do, right? There's nothing that AI can do that will astound us, because, hey, but because we are so highly intelligent, everything that we need has already been programmed into our bodies. Now, when you're stressed, what happens is this. We all think that the stress is stress is bad. No, what stress does is just caution you, protects you, and keeps you safe. Not necessarily saying that stress is bad. So if you are encountering a situation that seemingly is stressful, what your brain does is send a signal to your bodies, right? Send your signal to your organs, and a hormone is secreted, which is cortisol. When cortisol is secreted, it is secreted to give you energy, to give you that boost that you need to be able to encounter, in quotes, that danger that you're facing. What a lot of us don't know is that the longer we stay within a stressful situation, the more cortisol is released, the more your brain signals that you are stressed. And the more cortisol is released, the more stress is, invested in you, to the point that you begin to experience what we call chronic stress. So when people say that, but stress is bad, stress is what's causing hypertension, stress is what is causing this, stress is what's causing headache, it's not the stress that's causing headache. It is because you did not understand the signs of stress. It got so bad that you wallowed in it for so long, it then began to exhibit itself as headaches, or as, in my own case, hypertension. And to save me, it had to shut me down completely, so shut me down, and just to save me, so that my body can begin to reboot itself. So I see a lot of us now on that journey. Everywhere we go, we are talking about how we are going to succeed, how we want to grow our businesses, how we want to be, we're talking about mentorship here, we're talking about boardroom, we're talking about C-suite executives, we're talking about all that. And those things are fantastic. But then again, what are all those things if your health is compromised? I lost 2 years of my life. So every single thing I had achieved prior to then came to nothing, came to zero. So we need to learn how to prioritize and put the right things in place. While you're building a life, while you're building a business, understand that you are the chief player in that business. So as you are caring for your business, how are you caring for you? Do you get what I mean? How are you caring for you? How are you applying yourself to you in such a way that you are more productive, you know? So that also led me, like when I was thinking about it, it led me down a path of thinking and wondering, okay, how am I going to get this message more across to people? So I wrote a book called Rhythms of Resilience. Now, when you look at it, you think that the book is all about my life, it's all about me talking about myself. No, but I needed to connect with people. So the book is a self-help book. It's how you can move from point A to point Z, right? Without missing out on B to Y. That is it. So I had to use my story. My story of amnesia was supposed to connect with other people's challenges. It could be anything. It could be the loss of a loved one. It could be the loss of a business. It could be a health scare like mine. It could be anything whatsoever, right? You're going through a divorce. You're going through relationships. Everything has a ripple effect. So one thing that is happening to you might think that, oh, it's not such a big deal, but it touches on every other thing. So when I wrote that, and then I factored out embracing the chaos. It doesn't matter what challenge you're going through, there's going to be chaos around it. But for you to be able to move forward, for you to be able to thrive, you have to also understand that I have to accept this. I have to accept that this is my reality so that I can move forward. Now, the book is available everywhere. It's on lulu.com. You can get the book on lulu.com. Or you can reach out to me directly. I'm everywhere on social media as The Wellness Boss if you want to have a copy of the book. I do not have much time. So if you notice, I've actually been rushing so that I can get my words across.
You have
yeah, I get everything in. So literally, so if you're wondering what the book looks like, I don't know if you can see it because of the whole thing. So this is the book. Right. And so thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. I hope I did well, Noella, within the time slot I was given. I tried so hard to keep it short.
Well done. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you so much. Thank you for that insight. Although I have a question. In fact, I have loads of questions, but because of time, I don't think I'll be able to ask my own questions per se. But I'll just, if you don't mind, I'll ask just one question. Because you there's many things you mentioned about stress and all the things we've heard about stress that are not necessarily true, and the fact that sometimes stress can also be good for you. How do you? I just need some bit of clarity so that we understand how it works, or how it's in quotes, how it's good for us. If it makes sense. that's the question going through my head.
Yeah, it does make sense. Okay, so let me explain something to you. Our brains have no concept of what is right or wrong. Our brains, the job of our brain is to keep us safe, right? So what exactly is stress? Stress is anything that places some form of demand on your capacity to deliver in any regard. It could be emotional, it could be financial, it could be physical, right? Emotional, financial, physical, or all around. Okay. Now, when that happens, it pushes you out of your comfort zone. Do you understand? Okay. It pushes you out of your comfort zone. And the moment you're out of your comfort zone, what that tells your brain is, hey, I'm no longer safe. Right? To keep you safe, it sends a signal. So usually there are three responses to stress. You either run away, you stay and fight, or you faint. So if you notice that you're in any situation that kind of like gives you some form of feeling that you're not used to butterflies in your tummy, you're sweaty, you feel like running to the toilet, you start fidgeting, that is stress at work. Now, let me see if I can explain this properly. Let me use an example. For instance, now you've been given an assignment, right, to deliver. then the pressure of that assignment, I mean, me speaking to you right now, I'm under some form of stress because there's demand on my capacity, right? So, yeah. So then again, when you have that kind of pressure on you, if I do not understand it properly, another person will take it like, I cannot deal with this. I have to run away. And then I'll probably send a message to Noella and say, hey, Noella, I can't deal with this, right? So I run away. What then happens is, once I leave, I'm now in a constant state of frustration or anxiety. What if I had spoken? What if I had done this? Probably this situation, I might not have been that bad, you know. What it's doing now is creating more anxiety and more panic in me. I'm sorry, we are in Nigeria, the lights just went off. So it will come back soon. Yes, it will come back soon.
Thank you. I think I get
so
what you're saying.
Right, they'll put it on. Okay. So so when that happens, you find that you're further immersed in, so you're not attending to that particular stress. You're not attending to the signal the stress is giving you. Rather than looking at that stress as it's time for me to get up and probably work on my presentation for this conference, what I take it to mean like the pressure is too much for me. I need to run away, and then I go away. But then Noella calls and says, no, Chris, you have to come. You have to come. And I'm like, okay, fine. But because of my fear, you know, so what happens is when I'm now presenting, I'm not ready. I'm not prepared. So I'm under tension. And then before then, because I'm preparing on that day, what happens is multitasking comes in, the procrastination that I've done, everything then accumulates, and then my blood pressure rises. A lot of things we take for granted actually play a huge role when you're looking at the bigger picture. Those little things. So when I say that stress is good for you, it's about you understanding how stress works. If you buy a generator, okay, let me use it because they've taken light. You buy a generator and you do not read your generator's, you do not read your generator's manual. The first thing that comes to your mind is it not a generator? And then you buy petrol or something and pour it into the gen. And then the gen works for like a minute or two, and then it goes off. And you're wondering, why did it go off? But it's a brand new gen. Then you pick up the manual and you read the manual and you realize that you're supposed to have put in diesel, not petrol. And you go like, wow, but the damage has already been done. And that is what happens to us, yeah? Our bodies are different from one another.
I get it. Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you. I get it. It's really clear. Please, let's give a rounding applause. Thank you, Chris. This is so insightful.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate it. It has been great. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I'm sure we still have more questions. So please look in the comment section, Chris, for those who want to ask some more questions. And if you can help us answer them in the comment section, that would be awesome. Thank you so much. We're moving on to the next guest, our next speaker for today. Our next speaker is Patrick Uduma. He's a mediative leadership coach. Yes. He has a whole lot of experience when it comes to leadership. He's a guru. He is an expert, and whatever he does, or when he gives his trainings, it is so impactful that when you go back to listen and when you go to apply what he's teaching, you will see the results, right? So I'll just do a quick introduction for our next speaker, Mr. Patrick Uduma, or Dr. Patrick Uduma. He's a leading mediative leadership expert and founder of Stand Out with Patrick Uduma, an NGO focused on redefining leadership standards. With over 15 years in the oil and gas industry, and business and financial coach. He has trained over 8,000 leaders. Patrick's influence spans numerous African countries, and he supports leadership development through platforms with Standout Radio and Hive Africa. He is the managing director and CEO of ICREN Services Limited and MD Max. Patrick holds board positions on several organizations and has earned accolades including Nigeria's 100 Most Innovative CEOs in 2020 and Nigeria's Top 50 Inspiring and Definitive CEOs in 2024. Please, ladies and gentlemen, with a rousing welcome, join me, welcome Patrick Udoma. Thank you so much. A virtual welcome.
I mean, sometimes I'll be sleeping. I'm not sure whether it's me they're introducing.
We're excited to have you with us. Can't wait for you to take us on your topic, competencies, developing executive competencies, and presence for the C-suite. We are excited. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. First of all, I want to say a big thank you to my friend and my mentor. I recall when we had this discussion about the growth conference, I didn't believe it was going to be this massive. I know her capability, I know her capacity. Somebody I've watched has inspired me to do what I do today. Thank you so much. My president is here, Dr. Jenny. Thank you so much. The way you have exhibited your expertise and the coordination. I mean, this is massive. That's a typical of you. And the background, everybody. Thank you so much. I don't want to waste much time. Story, what has shaped my life from old house, what we call the most house, is a task that is done by Sand. It came out from, we were 18, and this 18 were living in 2 apartments. And thought about mentorship, I don't want to go around there, was my mom. And I'm going to build competence and presence from a very historical perspective so that people understand how it works. So my mom had identified herself who she was. So she knew who she was. She got married to my dad. My dad, I think she was the 3rd or the 4th wife, because my dad hadn't got a male child, and typical of where I'm coming from, if you don't have a male child, it seems that you have not started. You keep exploring. So my mom was married probably to fill that gap whether he was going to get a male child. Now, she knew who she was, and she has identified herself. She was going to come with her competence and going to come with her presence. So one of her competence was to cook, and her to cook was to cook for her husband. And she knew that she's going to have it tough being in that typical boardroom, kitchen boardroom. I mean, that's where it starts. But one thing she knew was to believe herself. There was no self-doubt. So she said, I know what I can control. I know my perspective of my marriage. I know my perspective on my duty. I am fearless about it. I'm fearless about my purpose. I'm fearless about my impact. So the first step was to, oh my God.
It's okay. It's okay. It's some technical issues. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Pardon us, audience. I think Patrick is having a little technical issue. We'll just give him about a minute for him to come back to us.
Yeah, I think I'm back.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Sorry, I think I have to change a new device that powered off. Sorry.
Thank you.
So the story went on, said that, so my mom would cook and serve my dad. My dad will not eat the food because the other wife would say, don't eat this food. And my mom will believe herself and will drop the food because her competence was to cook. Now, to serve, she knows who she was. She has no self-doubt. She has entrusted herself. She was not disadvantaged, even though she was a fourth wife or thereabout. But consistently, she was dropping the food. So one day I asked her, how come you're not upset? How come you're not worried that you go back and pick up this food sometimes? Sometimes it's given to other people. She said, Patrick, I know who I am, and I know my service to the world and to my husband. Her eating the food or not eating the food will not discourage me because I know I have determined who I am to find my expression. So the first thing you need to do as a CEO, your life, is to find who you are. Don't allow the position of as a wife to define you. Let who you are define your wife role. Don't allow your marriage to define you. Your personality must define your marriage. So your official identity shouldn't drive you, but your true, authentic, powerful, compassionate self should influence you. The day your position starts defining you, then you have lost the battle. So what happened? She was consistent and she stayed on. And she said, I'm going to stay in my higher life. My lower life will be insulted, but my higher life will not be insulted. Growing up, I have researched and I started applying it in my life as a person. I mean, I was disadvantaged when I was in the bank because I was in a department, nobody was talking. But because I knew who I was. So first and foremost, as a lady, understand that you are whole and complete, lacking nothing. You don't need external validation. You need your internal validation to be able to procure your values to outside, not outsource your values externally. Because what we find out that we want to be appreciated externally, we want to be clapped for, we want to be honored. No, my mom said, I carry my honor, I carry my validation. So my internal validation and honor will automatically connect to external validation, but the honor will proceed from me. So that's a higher content. That's a higher personality. That's somebody who is self-aware, who has discovered herself. So the title shouldn't drive you, but your core essence should influence your personality. What happened was that it caused what they call this value drive. Now, when you have identified yourself, now the component of you will give you a richer perspective of who you are and constitute what we call the value self, which is essentially your nature. Listen, if you don't find your nature, you can't nurture or ignite anything meaningful, because nature nurtures. Nature nurtures. Now, nature will be able to give you the component ingredients, what we call the nutrients around you, which is your value system. I mean, she told me a story about my grandmother who did not buy, who did not sell, who was not already educated, but was one of the most richest women in my village because she got a landed property. What did he do? She understood who she was, understand her body, her regiment governance body, which is her value system. And it was kindness, for instance. And she was kind. And so in that kindness, so she deployed kindness to a man who was quite insignificant, who was very significant, but everybody abandoned him because he had a problem. So early morning, what she will do is to boil water, pick up a cake or some cookies, and go to that man, stay with the man, have a conversation. Of course, she knew who she was. She was focusing on who she was and delivering her value, because her value in action will be useless if it's not expressed to the opposition. And what she said was, you're not kind until you're kind to the unkind. So it means that she's not likely going to meet kind people. So she's going to be kind, to express kindness in opposition. I like what Raz talked about, reversal thinking. And that's basically how new generation women should start thinking now. Know who you are. Once you understand yourself, you understand your nature, which is your value system. Your value will shape and direct your energies and expression, because your core as room is a place of character. And what it does, it gives you three aspects of your life. Your mental energy. I like what Chris just talked about, mental energy, the capacity of the mental energy, because how rich and how calm and how confident you are in your ritual world will affect your external world. If you really want to play the boardroom, is your mental energy. Time we talk about mental energy, something people don't go over there. But you see, one thing I learned from my mom, she was ever excited and dancing, especially when she picked that food back. Her fulfillment is not that the food was eaten. Her fulfillment that her expression was from her value system. So it gave her a richer mental concept of who she was. And, which directed her emotion. And when women say, oh, I'm emotional, that's stupidity. What is emotion? Emotion is engagement of your certain emotion attribute, whether it's hating, whether it's loving, or all those. You should be able to categorize it and know how to utilize them to express external factors. So for instance, if you promote me, I'm likely going to be sad about it, or I'm going to be happy. I can't say, oh, I'm emotional, I'm crying. So in that way, you begin to understand your emotional energy. What does happen is that it gives you what we call the focus energy. Focus energy is basically where you believe in yourself. You know who you are. Like my mom knows who she was, and she knows her core values. Like my grandmother knows her core values. And that's how she traded upon and got everything she needed to do. So with that, it creates a strong presence. So capacity, capability, and competencies is first of all in your core essence, who you are, knowing who you are. I wake up every day. I know who I am. I don't need anybody. I tell myself I'm a builder, for instance, or I'm a transformer. And so my values are inspired and informed by my identity, who I am. And that gives me completeness and wholesomeness. So what does present means that because I recognize myself and I know that I have a value, I also respect other people because they have value. So now their value, I will be able to inclusively know that how do I interact with these people? Don't forget, my father had a value. My mom had a value. Their value did not sink. But my mom utilizes my father's value to reinforce her value so that she ultimately be able to push herself to have resilience, have ability to have mental doggedness and toughness. And it's not a physical thing. One thing that stood for my mother was that she was so impersonal about external factor, because that's what happened in boardroom. My first job was with a very successful lawyer who was in the board of directors and all that. She was always stressed out when she comes back because she was proving. Because when people challenge you and you become personal with it, you take it in. And our life is not supposed to take in. We're supposed to give out. That is more blessed to give than to take in. Now, the other thing that my mother was not attached, which is a burden to her. Oh, I'm a wife, so treat me like a wife. No, all that stories and narrative, she changed her own narrative and enforced it through her value disposition. And that will bring you to the place you are not clinging. You have no preference. There's no conditional external expectation. Let me say that again. There is no clinging to preferences, nor conditional external expectation, because expectation is a trap. So what it does, it makes you so fearless and unstained. Let me, because of time, what was the attribute of my mother in presence? So it means we have purity. In fact, when I talk about purity, I recall one of the strongest force of Steve Jobs is purity. If we check it out, 6 of them, but I'm not going to talk about it. Purity. Purity means that you're unstained by external factor. You're unstained. And that stain brings about like purity of heart. And it gives you what we call the healthy mind that gives you a sound body. Now, this sound, healthy mind within you will interpret and influences your extension, which the next one, purity, and we'll talk about poise. Poise means your dressing. And if you look at most people who are comfortable with themselves and who are complete and holistic, what happens is that they are simple. If you watch how Noella dresses, you see, she doesn't talk so much about a lot of things. She's so simple. But when you look at her and talk about her, there's a bit of completeness and wholeness. So her holistic inward relationship with herself will be able to bring her into that poise. You don't struggle around it. In fact, that's one thing you need to do, because when you step up in boardroom, there's a sense, the smell of sweetness around you. The next thing you're going to do, there's a power of concentration. Don't focus on how people make you feel. Focus on how you make yourself feel. Don't focus on how people make you feel, whether they are going to approve of you, whether they're going to be agitated, or whether they're going to do that or just no. Focus on how you choose to feel. I do that a whole lot when I go into board. I focus and I have predetermined, we call it the designed life, not the default life. Design life, I'm aware how I want to feel. I put it on my mental model. And so that will give me clarity. And so I concentrate on that. That gives me the next one, what I call calmness. That is a beautiful place to be. And you have to train your faculties from the dressing your bed every morning or from washing your plate at night. There's a sense of calmness that you develop, that you're untroubled. And the last one in present, be glad. Be glad. Now it's going to transform into what I call TSSSC. TSSSC. What does it happen? What it means that there is trust factor here. You trust yourself. I trust myself I will deliver my job. I trust myself that I will create an avenue that people would depend on me, because trust is dependability. So you have to have an internal dependability, because once you trust yourself, it affects everything around you. So you can now give out the energy of trust, which comes back to you. But if you have self-doubt, you're likely going to find out validation outside to complete you, because you're complete and whole, which happened to my mom. So my father's attitude couldn't demean her nor devalue her, because she's poised. And so what that trust does, it makes you secured. And when you see somebody that's secured, they don't prove, they don't defend. You hardly notice their emotional relevance. Why? Because the moment men understand your weakness through emotional anger or resentment or all those energy, what happened? They continue to. So secured means I'm secured with whatever happened because I'm open to outcome. That will present you sweetness. Sweetness is where you're embodied with acceptance, where you're embodied with empathy, where you're embodied with, letting go of all the prejudices to be sweet. And once you become sweet in boardroom, what happened that you are a charm. You don't force it, because don't forget there's a trust. You trust yourself. You're not looking for external validation. You're secured and there's sweetness. Now it propels you to be service-oriented like my mom. She was more service delivery, more custom about that, rather than looking for the acceptance. I mean, it helps you to be more aware, even when your service is not up to depth, or probably does not profile or match your profile, because you'll be the first one who will test your service, like a woman who is cooking in the kitchen, who will test the food to be sure before it's served. So you serve it. That builds such a great confidence. Now, in rounding it up, I had what I call the SSS. Number one is when you are sound, which is what is required in boardroom. Be sound. It makes you safe. What it means, there's no self-doubt, there's no condemnation, there's no all those elementary base energy that flood your mind. Oh, would I accept it because I'm a woman? You are a woman of great honor, esteemed. Like Ahmed said, we also need help. So you need help, we need help. That brings our richer interconnectedness so that we can form a whole. Don't focus on weakness, focus on the strength, that soundness. The moment you start self-sabotaging yourself, you will lose the competence that you bring in. It will affect your dressing. In fact, it will affect your makeup. So sound self, then sweet secured. What eventually happened, you begin to find out that you are becoming more harmonious. So I call them harmony, honor, and happiness. What is harmony, honor, and happiness? Harmony is respecting people's opinion. People are going to speak from whether they are in a low place, whether they are secured or insecure. And now, if you're in a secure place and you speak a language, don't judge them from their standard, but harmonizes with them from where they are through understanding. That is what we call the peace management. So it means I wake up and another person must have an idea. The other people have their idea. So the integrated and inclusive of our mind harmonizes. So my opinion is not superior, but all part of the contributing hub in the orbit. What that means that you have power. Once you're in harmony, it brings honor. And once you're in harmony, it brings a street of happiness. But once you are in this harmony state, you will find out there's a friction and tension. That's where stress comes up. That's where separation comes in. And once you separate, you judge. So eventually, you lose power when you are not in harmony and when you are not honoring. Then happiness declined. But once you acknowledge other people and accept them, their individual differences and opinion based on the evolutionary processes, because we are not in one knowledge base, you will realize that harmony gives you honoring. What killed us in boardroom is that we are not in harmony. We are fighting superiority, and superiority will just disconnect us because we're finding specialness and separation and self-centeredness.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much. You have 1 minute left, please.
So your performance is a function of your harmonious state and your honoring state in the boardroom. But before it, let yourself know you are whole, you are complete, you bring your value irrespective of who comes. That's your concentrating point. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Whoa, wow, wow, wow. My notebook is filled. Thank you so much, Patrick. I wish we had more hours so you could delve into more info on this.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's on point. Thank you. I like the TSSC, the SSS, the HH. I like all your acronyms. It helps you remember how to apply all the things you are teaching us. Thank you so much. I like the fact you talked about being your authentic self in the sense of it's nature that nurtures, right? So finding who you are, despite what position you have, is key to expressing yourself or being the best you, if I put it that way. It's very insightful. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your wealth of experience, and every word you spoke had a nugget of wisdom inside. We can go back and keep taking on from everything you have said. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have a few questions that I would like to ask. I know people have some questions also in the comment section, and I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up, fire, people clapping, applauding you. Thank you. It has been very rich and insightful session with you, Patrick. So the question that I would like to ask, the exuding confidence, gravitas, and grit are some key competencies I know an executive must have. But how can one gain these skills? How can one gain these skills?
Most times we live life from external to internal, which pushes pressures on us. You have to build capacity from within. In fact, enjoy yourself. I call it be the boss of yourself, be your observer. And one of the ways I started building confidence was keeping my promise to myself. So I started by saying, I'm going to make my bed. And until when I read it by a certain military guy, I was blown out. So I made myself that I was going to make my bed. So I kept a promise. And that making of bread built a lot, because once you keep your word, you find that the more you do it, the more creative the different. Now, you see, this bed will not come back to thank you. Your confidence is internal. And when people talk about confidence with that, we think that we are better than people. No. The moment you feel that you are better than people, it activates that you are in a lower place, because you need to be able to make people feel comfortable. The essence that you have a confident person is how confident people are around you. So building that capacity. Now I'm doing something else. So one day I saw my security men. I knew they were tired, and I from my office, I saw what it was. I went down, wore my suit. I went down. I said, you know what? Go take a break. I'll be opening the gates. Now, what I wanted to do was, is it position that influences my confidence, or is it service? Or is it attainment that built? Because attainment is a fallout of what has proceeded out of you to external. So, I could open the gate. My colleagues, I open the gates, and they are, wow, what are you doing? And most times, often, when people greet me, sir, I want to be able to think, is it my dressing that makes them call me sir? Or what? So I will remove my cloth and go back to that place. And if the great said, sir, that means now it is no longer the dressing or the position. It is now an inner essence that is coming out affecting people or affecting my environment.
Wow. Thank you. Hi. Yes. Thank you so much. That was spot on.
Thank you.
I have one more question. There are still more questions and a lot of comments in the comment section, but because of time, I'll just take this question. What are some key strategies to elevate your executive presence as a woman in the boardroom? Key strategies.
So observation is so powerful. You know, people flow into environment without tactful organization. As a woman, when you get into a position, don't be quick to speak. Take time to analyze. In fact, be the last person to speak if it's possible. Hold your peace. Look at all their thought processes and thought pattern. By the time you look at them, you begin to find out their strength and their weaknesses. When people find a way to get into their weak place and you highlight it, not condemning them, but be able to highlight and present yourself as ability to solve that problem, you will find out that you are integrated. Don't let acceptance. Find out weakness within the boardroom. Be that pillar, be that reference point. It could be that everybody talk and nobody listen, but you be the one to listen. Listening power could just give you access to everybody because it's what you give. When you're talking, everybody will listen. It could also be respect. Now, you're not respecting them because they are men. You're respecting their opinion. Because if you give out respect, they are likely going to return back that respect. If you give out fight, they will give back that fight. It's a mental connection, which is an energy transfer.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Wow. Please, let's appreciate our speaker, Patrick Uduma. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We've taken so much from your session. This is amazing. And we're going to put it to practice because it's one thing to listen, it's another thing to practice what you have learned. That's where knowledge becomes power because you can utilize the knowledge you have received. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. Please, let's give a round of applause again one more time virtually for our speaker as we move on to the next speaker. Okay, I hope we are ready for our next speaker. We'll be having with us a very special person, our special guest. Her name is Roberta Donkor, the manageress for Volta Pads. I like to say that it's never too late, never too early to make an impact in life. And it's always good to start young, right? So it's never too late. Just make sure you are making an impact wherever you find yourself, no matter how small. It can just be a smile. It can be a service. No matter how small it is, you are making an impact. And that is something that Roberta Donkor has done. I will just read her profile very briefly. Roberta is a 24-year-old who produces reusable sanitary pads to help indigent girls and women. Her zeal and passion is to advocate for the less privileged. She holds a first-class honors in governance studies from the Evangelical Presbyterian University College, where she served as Women's Commissioner of the Student Representative Council. She further served as a Women's Commissioner for the National Service Personnel Association for the Ho Municipality and Ho West District. Due to her advocacy work, she was awarded the Student Advocate of the Year 2023 by the Whole Tertiary Awards Scheme. Her dedication to seeing women succeed motivated her to volunteer with Stone City Radio as a co-host. She is the manager for Volta Parts and a passionate advocate for women and girls' health by educating them on menstrual hygiene management and donating reusable Volta Parts to young girls in rural communities to end period poverty in Ghana. Roberta is also an event decorator. She loves to read and write in her leisure time. Please, with a virtual round of applause, help me welcome Roberta all the way from Ghana to tell us her story. Thank you and welcome.
My name is Abuna and I'm the board chairman.
Welcome,
Roberta. SIB organization LBG. Votapad is one of the projects we brought on board now for the company, and the main vision of the project is to empower the women in the working community and the communities around. We are encouraging you to come on board to help this project succeed, and that is why we say the slogan is Votapad is good for them and is good for them. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Roberta Dongo, and I am the manager for Votapad. Votapad, good for her, good for earth. So today I want to introduce you to our office or our production hub. So come with me and let's go to the So this is the compound where the reusable Volta pads are produced. This here is our building. Come with me, let me show you. So this is our office, and this building right here is in loving memory of Professor Rahel Kual's mother. Professor Rahel Kual is the founder of Ameniveve Inc., which is registered in US, and she built this in loving memory of her mother. And the water pads are one of the things produced by Ameniveve Inc. So this is the changing room. Join me. Let me take my laptop before we enter into the production office. So this is my coat, beautifully worn. Before I enter the office, I am required to wear it. So let's go to before you enter into the production room, you need to wash your hands. We don't joke with our safety at all. This is the production room, and as you can see, our beautiful women designing the parts, designing our reusable Volta parts. So let me take you through the machines here. This is the embroidery machine. This part goes through a whole lot of process before you see it, because that part is going to be worn by a woman and worn at a sensitive place. That is why we don't joke with all these protocols. And these are some of the already produced parts packed here. You see how it is very clean, safe. This is the color tester. It is used to test the color of the material. And this is the sterilizer over here. You have to wear your gloves before working with anything over here. And here is the instruction. You have to wear your lab coat. And as you can see, I'm in my lab coat, so I'm safe to be here. And this is a straight stitch sewing machine. This is it, right? Mommy, this is it, right? Yes, this is the machine. This goes through a whole lot of process before you see an already sewn part. Is it sewn? Yeah, this is the Volta part. So this is our story. Come, let me show you what is there. Here we pack our materials. Very neatly packed here. Nothing is overstacked. Nothing is lying on the floor. Everything is in standard. And you can see some hard machines here. When we have light out, this is what we use so that in case you have order and there's no lights, if we don't have any excuse to give to you, we have the hard machines we use to work for you. And right here, we produce quality for you. Good for her, good for us. What do you say? Do you love water pads?
We all love water pads.
Okay. Well done. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to say a very good evening from where I am right now in Ghana to all of you doing the listening, and a big thanks to all the amazing facilitators who spoke earlier on. In fact, I'm learning a lot from this conference. It has been a great one, and I'm happy to share my story with everyone here today. So anytime I'm given the platform to talk, I'm so happy because I was once in a shoe where I couldn't get money to buy disposable sanitary pads to use as a young girl growing up. It has been so challenging for me to be able to get money to buy disposable pads to use. And when I grew up, I said, no, I have to do something, because I realized that there are a lot of girls also in this same situation that I was in a time ago. So what do? I need to also extend help to them. Now that I can also afford to get pads, I need to also extend hands to them to be able to buy pads or to get pads to maintain themselves when they are menstruating as a woman or as a young girl. So then I decided to buy disposable pads and share to these ladies or these girls. I go to schools in the Volta region. I pick some rural schools, do my survey, and then I buy disposable pads. I solicit for funds, buy disposable pads and give to them. But I realized there was something missing because I wanted to help them solve a problem. But when I give them disposable pads for a month to use, I asked myself, so after that month, who then goes back to them to give them another disposable pad? Then it means that I'm not solving the problem I actually want to solve. So I was thinking through, what do I do to make sure that this problem is solved and is solved to the core? That is the sustainability of my project. Then it led me to working with an NGO or a social enterprise called Amenuveve SIV organization. Amenuveve SIV organization produces batik. It's a local cloth for women. So that is what they produce. And at a stage, we started thinking, what do? We've noticed a problem that there are girls in the Volta region that always go through teenage pregnancy. They are getting pregnant here and there at a very young age. So we identified a problem or a challenge. But most of the time, people just complain about girls getting pregnant at a young age, but they don't go to find out what is their challenge. What is leading these young girls to getting pregnant at that young age? Then we did our research. We realized that some give themselves to guys in exchange for pad. That is sex for pad. That is what is leading to the teenage pregnancies. So we came up with this idea. We started doing our research into producing reusable sanitary pads for girls in this community. Then we brought up the prototyping stage, gave it to some women. They tried it. They told us they were so comfortable. It felt so good for them. That is how it started. Then we thought about, why not commercializing this project? Why not make it something big that other people can also buy, and then they also sell, or people can come and pitch it and donate to other communities as well. So we decided to register this product called Volta Pads. We registered it and we started producing in large quantity to sell. So the idea too is that as we produce, the people producing it are women, and they are women in the community. So we are helping them so that they can be able to also provide for their family. So as they sow, the money that people use to come and buy the pads, we give it to them so that they can also provide for their family. So first, we are solving the problem of period poverty. And then second, we are helping women in the rural communities, giving them a job, something to do, something that they can earn something and help their family in it. That is what we are doing at Volta Pads. So this is a big project that we are doing, and I'm so happy to share our project with you. And I'm calling on to everyone out there to support us in this project. We started small like this. We are hoping to go to other parts of the regions in Ghana. We started in the Volta region of Ghana. That is why we named it Volta Pads. But we are looking to extend it at other places too. So if you are listening to me today, I would call on you to follow us on our pages, check out our work, some donations we have done to the rural communities, girls we have helped. You see all our projects. I want to beat the time, so I wouldn't talk too much. So please follow us on all our projects we are doing. And I would like to encourage someone out there who is on this workshop or this conference today that there are lots of problems or things that are happening in our community. So we need to sit down, think through, and identify a challenge or identify a problem, and then we solve them as leaders. Leaders are made to solve problems. So let's think through what is going on in our community. What can we do to support our community? We started at a very low community, a very less privileged community. And we are doing a great job today helping the ladies. The testimonies from the ladies are so encouraging, and it's giving us the zeal to continue doing this project. So thank you to all the organizers of this program, especially Dr. Genevieve, for giving me this opportunity to talk to everyone about our project. My advisory board member is also here with me, so I'll give her a shout out, Madam Ivy. Thank you for being in the team and helping us do this project. But before I go, I would like to show you how the product is. I don't know if it can be visible enough for everyone to see, so but I'll try showing it. So this is what we produce, and we call it Volta Pad. Very nice, and it keeps the woman for 2 good years. It can be used for 2 good years. So thank you.
Usable. You can use it over and over again.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Well done. You are amazing. Really an inspiration to all of us. Wow. God bless you. This is awesome. You're doing an amazing job. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your wealth of experience and time with us here. We've been inspired. We've been inspired. Thank you so much. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Okay. We are gradually rounding up. And at this point, we would like to take a group photo. So for those who are still here, can we see your lovely faces? Please put on your cameras. Let's see you. Let's see you. Let's see your lovely faces so we can take a group photograph. Yay, we are still here. Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful and handsome faces. Oh, we really want to appreciate our men who have stuck through with us through this growth conference. Thank you, ladies. Okay. We're just waiting for our technical team to let us know when they are ready to take the picture. Let's see your beautiful smiles. And once they're ready, they will take the picture. And we are all good to go.
All right, I'm just waiting for more people to turn on their videos, their cameras.
Please turn up your videos. Let's see your faces. You know. Yay, I'm seeing more faces come up. Beautiful. Yes. Oh, God. Oh, Genevieve. Yes. Dr. Genevieve. Thank you. Yes, Edima. Dr. Rosemary. Awesome. Juliet. Thank you. More faces. Yes, Mr. Patrick. Awesome. Okay, are we ready? More faces, more faces, more faces. Beautiful people. Yes, we can see the water as well. Beautiful people.
We want to see the men. The men, please show your faces.
Yes, men, let's see your faces. Where are the other men? Are we ready? Okay.
All right, awesome. Can you just give us your beautiful smile so that we can take it at the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Yes, pictures taken. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed every bit of it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Moving forward very quickly, we want to acknowledge and appreciate the organizing team. We'll just play a quick slideshow to acknowledge and appreciate. Thank you very much. We are very, very grateful. Thank you. I would like to hand over or to take us forward our wonderful convener and founder. We would like her to do the vote of thanks. Thank you, Luella. Over to you.
Wow, wow, wow. It's been a jolly ride. It's been 2 days of intensive learning. Thank you so. Can you hear me? Tutu, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much to all those who spoke yesterday. If you're here, I know that some of them couldn't attend today's session. Thank you so much. And to those who spoke today, Dr. Ahmed, you were just exceptional. You know, just listening to a man carry this fight for women was just so exciting. It was just so encouraging. You know, I have not seen such strong advocacy for women from a man in a very long time. Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick. I'm going to greet our men first, ladies, you know, because I mean, it's good to know that we are not alone in this quest for parity. I am so happy that our men are speaking passionately about seeing women in the boardroom, seeing women go up there and giving us tips on what to do, what not to do. Mr. Patrick said that we shouldn't be concerned about what people think about us. We should be more concerned instead about how we make ourselves feel. Everything should come from within. Leave external validation. Because honestly, there are people who will never like you. There are people who will always heckle you. No matter what you do, you come to the boardroom, they would have made up their minds that today, I will ensure that she does not have a good day. So what are you going to do? Thank you so much, Dr. Fotabe. Thank you so much for your story. Your story was so inspiring, you know. It didn't just come from the heart, it came from the belly. It was as if I was a character in your story. Your story made everything so relatable. Your story made everything so easy to grasp. One could actually see oneself walking the journey of your story with you. Thank you so much for the simplicity. Roberta, God bless you. I can't say God bless you enough. God bless you for what you are doing for these indigent girls and women. You saw a problem and you decided to solve the problem. One of our speakers said that. Solve a problem, show up. Look for a place where you can participate. And you showed up in this area. Thank you so much. Chris, for being vulnerable. You know, you were they went through, but your candor is what's going to help other people and give them permission to also own their experience. Because we all are fighting some war. There's something everybody is fighting. I'm fighting mine. All of us are fighting ours. And like Fotabe said, it's not enough to network. We should also forge relationships. The Growth Conference is not just a conference. It's more than a conference. It's a movement. It's a platform where we forge relationships. So feel free, please, to forge relationships. You know anybody here, you need their contact, by all means. If you can't reach them directly, please contact me. This place is a bridge. This is a place where we just come and we help one another because everybody needs everybody. Dr. Ahmed said, sometimes we the men are the ones that need help, you know. So we all need one another. We can't thrive on our own. We can't cope on our own. We can't succeed on our own. So thank you so much, everybody who has stayed with us for the 2 days. For those who joined us today, we know you've been busy or you actually missed the date or the timing. Thank you so much for joining us. God bless you all. And most importantly, please put into practice at least one thing you picked from this conference. That is where change happens. Change doesn't happen at the point where you hear. Change happens at the point where you take action. So just take action on just one major thing you have taken away here, and you'll see your life transformed. Thank you so much, Ogo. Thank you, Tutu, for anchoring these sessions for the past 2 days and for bringing on the energy and sustaining the energy up to this time. Thank you and God bless you all. Till we see you again in the next Growth Conference, which will be happening in Southern Africa. The next Growth Conference is TGC Southern Africa and will be hosted by our lovely Susan Chibanga. This is coming to you in November. On November 28th and 29th, keep a date with us. And you can see the theme, Unleashing the Growth Potential of Women Through Tech. Yes, tech is another space where women are underrepresented. So we're not going to tell you what it is or what we're going to be talking about, but at least now you know the theme, you know the date, you know the region. Susan is the person who is going to take care of this for us. So keep a date with us again in November as we take you through TGC Southern Africa. Thank you, everybody. God bless you.
Thank you, Noella. Thank you for conveying this very, very, very important conference. I think the vote of thanks has been done, but I still need to say one or two as the host before we call it a day. First of all, I'd like to say a very big thank you to all our wonderful speakers. It's been amazing listening and sharing your stories. And to all of you who joined us yesterday and today, thank you. I think we all want to be the difference, and that is why we took the decision to be part of this Growth Conference. The word is Growth Conference. So it means that you are ready to take on the journey of growth. I would like to share a quick quote with all of us. It says, the first step toward becoming extraordinary is, of course, to stop being ordinary, by Seth Godin. It means that if you want to be extraordinary, yes, you have to do the extraordinary things. And such an extraordinary thing you've done is to be part of this conference. Some people are 2 hours ahead of Ghana, 3 hours, 4 hours, and you've all stayed so glued to the screen and you've been with us all through. Thank you so much. But we cannot go without talking about a few takeaways. For me, the 5 C's of mentorship, why we should leverage on our networks. If you belong to any network and it's valuable, you know the benefits. I won't say much. If it's not valuable, please seek for valuable networks. There are so many out there, like the Gold Conference. Seek for valuable networks. But my caution is always not to abuse your network, so that when you call on your network, they would always be there to support you. To Ahmed, thank you for supporting the cause of women always. And I know that, yes, the men also need our support. So for me, it's give and take. It's a mutual benefit thing. We give and we take. So our men, it's not a competition. We are with you just as we know you are with us. Be our cheerleaders. And when we get the positions, don't worry, because we have been trained well. We know what is right. So we will not rub it off. Just believe in yourself and believe in your partners and know that we are together to make sure that it works. And then to Patrick, thank you so much for sharing the story of your mother and your grandmother. I have really enjoyed it. And I always say that authenticity is you being yourself, regardless of what somebody thinks. So for a woman who is seeking and wishing to be in leadership roles, one of the key things I want you to remember today is that be yourself, be authentic. There is only one Genevieve. Other people can try to be Genevieve, but they can never be like Genevieve Pearl. The same way there is only one Winifred, there is only one Noella. We can just wish and hope that the things that we see about our sisters, our brothers, people that we admire, we become better. But don't wish to be like someone, because you can never be like someone. You can just take the good out of that person and then add it to your good, and then you become better. And then to Roberta, and then to Chris, thank you for sharing your stories. I love what you said, Chris. There is no superwoman anywhere. For me, I think that is a fallacy. And we've built on that for so long. And a lot of women are suffering and struggling. And we are not able to express it because we think we are superwomen. And I like the fact that you said stress is good. I always say there are positive stresses and negative stresses. But it depends on how well you manage your stress. But remember that no matter how stressed you are, know how to come alive. Know what brings you back to life. And the last thing I would say, but not the least, is that I believe in a community. I believe that we all belong to a community, and we can only be the best if we support ourselves. So on this note, I'd like to say that I represent 2 businesses, Tarragon Edge and then the Edge Community Bank. And I would like to say that for me, one of the things I have seen by traveling is that the Jews and then the Indians or the Asians have built a community that allows money to revolve around themselves. And these monies are used to support their businesses. These monies are used to help their businesses grow. Why can't we do the same as Africa? We have a lot of our family members out in the diaspora. They give us money every now and then when it's festive occasion, when there is a welfare need in the home. But I want us to see Africa beyond just receiving funds from diaspora for our little needs. Let's build an Africa that will support businesses to grow. And for the Edge, we are more focused on 65% of our money or of our funds and our credits and capacity building going towards women. And that is why we are passionate about the cause of women, because SDG Goal 5 is one of the key SDGs that we stand for. So partnering such a cause as a growth conference, it's something that we are passionate about, because we know that whatever cent that we put in, whatever naira or kobo that we put in, whatever dollar that we put in, whatever pound, kwacha, whatever your currencies that we put in, the whole idea is that it's going to support other businesses, not just women, but the youth, men, women, but more especially 65% is our focus towards women in business. And the unique feature is that we build capacity. So it's not just giving you credit, but building capacity with credit. Because when we give you the money and we don't build credit in you, you will not be able to manage the funds well. And I always say that being over 2 decades in the banking industry, I realize that a lot of the times we are not able to support small businesses just because the right structures are not there. So if we all complain of the problem and we don't solve it, then we are not being leaders. So as leaders vying for leadership roles, vying for the boardroom is for solving problems. So when I see a problem, I want to solve it. And the same thing, I think when you see a problem and you solve it, the world will become a better place. On this note, I would like to say that we've shared our links and our website information, our social media information. Please feel free, go there, find a way to be part of this beautiful community. The Edge Credit Union is a community for all of us. It doesn't matter your jurisdiction, across the globe, wherever you find yourself. Your little cent, you might not need any credit from us, but your little cent in becoming a member, in becoming an investor can go a long way in supporting somebody like a Roberta, in supporting somebody like Chris, in supporting somebody who is somewhere in Africa who needs support to increase or to grow their businesses. So on this note, I'd like to say a very big thank you to all of you. It's been an amazing time with all of you. And I believe that as we go, those of us already on board, good luck and be the difference. Go and be the difference. Those of us who are vying and yet to get to the boardroom, 2 things I want you to take away. Build skills. The boardroom is a place to solve problems. Remember, it's a place for decision making. It's a place where your composure is very important. The aura around you should be something that people would want to be associated for. The boardroom is a place where results are needed. So don't just be in the boardroom and think that you're just adding up to the numbers. We don't want our women to just add up. We want you to give value. We want you to bring on board value. So as you go, I entreat all of you to be the difference. Mentor someone, leverage on your network, and remember that it takes you and I, collaboration, to get the world to the level that we want it to get to. On this note, I'd like to say God bless us all. God bless Ghana. God bless Nigeria. God bless Zambia. God bless Uganda. God bless Africa, in short, and God bless the world. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening, a wonderful morning if your day is now starting, a wonderful afternoon, and a wonderful weekend ahead. Lots of love. And thank you once again, Noel.